Welcome back to another edition of the R&D Podcast. Ryan Hyatt, David Collier from KMAC 28. That's Red Raider Nation. We have no research and a little development. It's good to have everybody back with us again. Let's see. It is fair to say this could be a very big week for Chris Beard's bunch in Texas Tech men's basketball. You gack one up on the road. Mm-hmm. I'll say that against an Oklahoma team. Were they better than they had been? Yeah, but you should have won that game. You needed to win this game. Suffice to say, you could be looking back in mid-March if you don't make the tournament, if you don't take care of business this week at home, and say that was a swing 2 games right there at TCU OSU.
Oh, without a doubt, and it all comes down, I think, to this TCU game, because I think that Oklahoma game is going to hurt them more, because I think TCU, that could be considered a big home win as we get by the end of the year, whereas that Oklahoma loss, even if the Sooners rattle off some wins, Jordan Woodard was a big difference for them. I mean, a tournament-tested guy, back healthy, and that was a trap game for the Red Raiders, unfortunately. You kind of wish the Sooners would have lost won right before that. I think the Red Raiders have been in much better shape.
And here's the deal. If it's an anomaly, the committee will look at that factor later on in the year. Mm-hmm. But if you let Oklahoma beat you twice, and by that I mean you come back and you don't play well against TCU, you add on another couple of losses here and there, they're not going to care who was playing for OU. It's just going to be another loss. Yeah. So singularly, they factor that in. And the totality, they don't.
Yeah, and the way that this team is playing right now, they need to win every single home game possible because they haven't figured out the formula to win on the road. And if they were to lose to Oklahoma State coming up on Saturday, we might not even need to worry about NCAA tournament at that point.
And you can sit here and look at this Tech team right now and say, well, they need a little, stronger presence inside. And obviously, when Odiasi's not out there, I think that hurts them there. Mm-hmm. I think you just need to keep guys on the floor. You had guys in foul trouble in the second half when you're trying to make a comeback and you don't have Smith out there and Gray, and you got to have every one of your best players out there. Got to stay away from foul trouble, I think, this week.
Yeah, they were able to get away with that in the early game last week when Keenan Evans got in foul trouble in the first half, and they kind of saved him for the second half. But you're in that territory, like you said. You have to win these games at home, and this Jamie Dixon is a good college basketball coach. Yeah. That's not breaking news, but we're seeing how quickly you can turn things around at a program.
Yeah, and TCU stole one getting him in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's better than any signee they've had. Mm-hmm. They've had some good ones in the last 3 or 4 years. Now they got the coach to go along with some of the talent.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, it's okay to approach this game as a big game. Feel that way, fans, but remember, don't run out on the floor after you win. Act like you expected your team to win.
They're not ranked. They're 26th, so let's remember that.
Speaking of close games, exciting games, the big talk in college football this past week has been how long and how late that national championship game ended, and you're seeing all sorts of proposals on how to shorten the college game and speed things up. In that, all those things need to happen.
Yeah.
Can we talk about college basketball in the final 3 minutes or so of a close game and how interminably long it takes to go through the timeouts, the end, everything that takes? You could play a college football game in the final 4 minutes of a men's basketball game right now.
Well, we can kind of go back to what we were just talking about, how big of a difference like a Jamie Dixon makes, and that comes into play at the end of basketball games because those coaches love to coach at the end of the
deal. I mean, it becomes a coach's game, and they just coach their rear ends off, and they can't coach enough. And all right, here's the deal. You've been coaching all week. You've been coaching all game. Mm-hmm. My rule proposal, in the final 2 minutes, both teams, you can call one timeout, and that's it. I don't care how many timeouts you have sitting there on you can call one timeout once that clock goes 1:59:00. The rest of the game. Use it well. Scream loud from the sideline, let's go play basketball. Basketball's a beautiful game, up and down the floor. Fluidity, that's a big word. I know, we'll look it up for you later. But I would love to see that.
I would enjoy it as long as it started at the beginning of the year. And I think, because that's going to be ugly for maybe like the first four weeks of the season. You're going to see some ugly basketball the final 2 minutes of a basketball game. But that might turn out to be a good thing for maybe the team that wasn't
well-coached team.
Yeah, which, a guy that runs some motion offense certainly would be a proponent of that, I would think.
Well, Bob Knight used to say that he was kind of loath to call timeouts because he'd been coaching and he wanted them to play. He wanted them to play through that, where you'd see a lot of coaches take timeouts in certain situations. I can remember Bob Knight just playing right on through it. He didn't stop. And I think that you can take away what you've done to a team with those late timeouts when they can turn and burn and turn it around on somebody and go get you a quick basket instead. Hey, let's call 8 timeouts and let everybody set up their defense for half court and full court.
Yeah, and you see that a lot in college basketball now. Not enough, clearly, since we're talking about a rule change, but where they do the change of pace and let's just go try to score, not set anything up and not let you set up a defense. I'm totally fine with it because I can't stand the length of any sporting event at this point.
Yeah, I'm getting there with you. It's hard to stay up past hee-haw, for me. You guys still carry that
MASH,
down 28,
right?
I
One
think.
of those?
Yeah, either one. Final thoughts today here on the R&D Podcast. Just announced Kirby Hocutt's going to be back as the face, the chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee. After watching his press conference and media avails on that last year, I assume he also likes going to the dentist.
Yeah.
Who signs up for that twice?
Yeah, well, I guess
he's good at it, but my goodness.
It's the exposure more than anything. Maybe it's just like going to the dentist. Eventually, if you go to the dentist enough, you're going to look really good, right?
Yeah.
It might cost you a lot. It might be very painful for several visits, but you'll look good in the end. At least that's the
they keep putting
idea.
Texas Tech Athletic Director next to his name. As long as they have that next to his name, it's good for Tech.
It would be a lot better if he was talking about a Big 12 team, preferably Texas Tech in that group. But hey, yeah, like you said, the character-generated graphic there at the bottom does say Texas Tech, and I think they say it from time to time.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
All right, we want to hear your comments. What do you think about our rule change proposal? Texas Tech basketball, where it is right now. You drop us a line. Comment section right there here on theraiderland.com. See you next week.
Just send the coaches to the locker room.
They
How
can't
about
even
that?
be there.
Exactly.